Hello everyone. How are you feeling today? Sitaraman Raghavasubramanian, trusted partner in your learning journey. Today, we are going to talk about receiving feedback, which is an important behavioral trait. Tell me, how many of us are open to feedbacks? Very few, right? Why? We take this as an insult, as we take everything personally, and the interest we show in giving feedbacks, we do not show in receiving feedbacks. Feedback is often described as a mirror that reflects a leader's true impact on people and performance. Yet, many leaders avoid seeking or receiving feedback. This phenomenon is often called as feedback phobia. This is not about a lack of compatibility or capability, but about deep discomfort that comes when one's decisions, behaviors, or leadership style are put under scrutiny. Leaders, especially those in high pressure environments, may fear that feedback will expose weakness, undermine their authority, or continuously challenge the image they have built over a period of time. So they don't want to be challenged. Ironically, what is happening? By avoiding feedback, they risk the blind spots. That means they have some qualities which needs to be corrected, which they themselves do not know, unless otherwise others give you the feedback. We can trust because you are not listening to the feedbacks, the trust quotient comes down and slow your personal and organizational growth. In today's world, where adaptability and emotional intelligence and continuous improvements are essential, and the leadership is not driven by authority, feedback phobia is more than a personal challenge. It is a leadership risk that can hold back both the leader and the team as well. Very important. The impact is on the team as well. Recognizing this fear is the first step. Learning to manage it and build a healthy feedback culture is what transforms the leaders from being defensive protectors of their image to an authentic enablers of growth. Let us look at why leaders develop feedback phobia. Why do they avoid feedback? First is the fear of losing authority. There is a worry that receiving a negative feedback might erode credibility in front of their team. Number two is perfectionism. High standards make criticism feel like a personal failure. So they don't want to take feedbacks. Emotional discomfort. Everything is approached emotionally rather than rationally. So the difficulty in managing the defensive reactions when feedback challenges their identity is becoming very difficult. Of course, the identity you have set, if something is questioning that, somebody is challenging that, obviously this becomes difficult. Lack of feedback culture, my friends, this is an important point. In organizations where feedback is rare and nobody is allowed to speak up, leaders may see this trait as a threatening one rather than a developmental behavior. So they fear feedbacks. Then, previous negative experiences, harsh or poorly delivered feedback in the past can create a long lasting avoidance. Now, what is the negative impact on leadership because of this feedback phobia? It will create blind spot in decision making because you are not taking feedbacks. Reduces trust and openness within the teams, limits self growth and adaptability, can foster toxic culture where feedback is seen as criticism, not improvement. What are all the techniques to overcome the feedback phobia? Reframe your feedback. What does it mean? Instead of thinking this as a judgment, see this as a data and ask yourself, what is the insight here? Not an insult. Start with safe spaces. So if you are feeling feedback coming from the entire team, begin with the peer feedback or trusted mentors before scaling to broader teams. Number three, adopt active listening. Focus on listening without interrupting, which will help you to understand what the other person has to say rather than listening to respond. Normalize the feedback loops. Build a culture of continuous small feedbacks rather than rare, heavy feedback sessions. Say, for example, you need to conduct quarterly town halls so that there are feedbacks coming continuously rather than heavy feedback once in a year. Request specific feedbacks instead of asking, "How am I doing?" which is a very vast question. Be very specific, asking, "What is the one thing I can do differently in order to perform well or in order to show the results?" This makes the life easier to receive the actionable insights. Use a feed forward technique. What is it? Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, ask, what can I do better going forward? So always, use it as a feed forward rather than a feedback. Train your mindset, practice self-compassion, and very important, friends, detach ego from the role. Remind yourself that feedback is about the performance and not the person. Model vulnerability is the next technique. Publicly acknowledge feedback and show willingness to improve. This signals strength, not weakness, and encourages others to do the same. Leaders who overcome feedback phobia transform it into a growth accelerator. By reframing feedback as a fuel for learning, a leader can build resilience, foster trust, and lead by example.